Welcome to Vegan Ultra. I'm your inspiration guide, Adam Gallus, on this epic quest for health, hope, and happiness, in which I lose 150 pounds on a whole food vegan diet while walking 3,000 miles in a weighted vest to prove to myself, my family, and everyone watching on YouTube that we can all become the ultra versions of ourselves if we just give it a chance and are powered by plants. Today is the weekly weigh-in. So let's get to the numbers. So, as expected, my trainer warned me I would gain a whole lot of weight this week because the resumption of training. Whenever you are doing any kind of exercise, your body is going to be repairing the tissue, holding in water. That water retention is going to cause some rapid weight gain. So you can see here how the last few weeks I've been sick, so it's been kind of chaotic. 4 pounds plus 0.6, minus 2, minus 8, plus 5, averaging out to 1 pound per week. Now, of course, my medical team of 5 and personal trainer is very happy with that. Now, of course, we're shooting for about 2.2 pounds per week. The reason for that is that would get me to my goal of 151 pounds lost in 1 year, my 1 year vegan anniversary, which would be nice. But of course, it's an arbitrary goal, but still something that is within reach. Now, the reason for this is because this week, per my medical team's recommendations, we did kind of a reset. After being completely sick with gastritis for a week, unable to really do much of anything, we started out low and slow, just 10 miles of walking with a 15-pound vest and 4.5 hours of weight training. That's a light week for me. But next week, we're going to try out 10.5 miles, Monday through Friday, plus the weight training with an 18-pound vest. And then the week after that, 11 miles per day with a 21-pound vest, and then 11.5, 12, 12.5, 13, and so forth. June 22nd here would be approximately 6 hours of walking, around 18.6 miles each Monday through Friday, plus the weight training, and down here by 7:20, a 77-pound vest. This July 13th here would be, assuming my body is able to handle this, because this is all assuming my body can adapt in time, 105 miles of walking by July 13th. So right before that 1 year anniversary, 4 marathons in 1 week with 74 pounds in a vest, plus 4.5 hours of weight training in that same 74-pound vest. So you can see how this will be increasing the amount of physical activity. But already 212 pounds is absolutely amazing. Remember, I started out at 320. So I've lost 107 pounds in 33 weeks, 20% body fat. Remember where I started out at, 40% and 21% visceral fat. Remember, this is where I started out at. BMI 40, morbidly obese, completely sedentary, looking terrible. Now I'm right here at 20%. But remember, the most important thing, weight loss is vanity, but health is sanity. Remember, the visceral fat, the fat in and around your organs that's squeezing on your heart, on your lungs, that's killing you, you want that single digits. I started out, as you can see here, 21%. Absolutely horrendous. 8%. So even with that weight gain, I'm still holding at 8%. Slightly better than optimal. Now, notice here, muscle. I actually gained 2.1 pounds of muscle and 0.1 pounds of bones, exactly as you'd expect when you resume weight training, especially with a weighted vest. That weighted vest approximately, according to Fitbit, an extra 15 pounds per mile. So every single day when I'm doing those 10 miles, that's an extra 150 calories. And of course, extra bone density and extra muscle. So you can see metabolic age bounced up a little bit. Basal metabolic rate also up slightly. Fat loss is still holding at 84 pounds so far, 79% of the total. Now, more importantly, how did that blood sugar come in? Well, blood sugar coming in at 91. So very happy with that. Now, that actually is kind of so. And then we look at the blood pressure. Now, remember, last week was a record low blood pressure average of 75, 92 over 67. This week, 98 over 72, slightly higher at 81, as you would expect with retaining around 5+ pounds of water. Remember, 100 or less overall blood pressure is considered healthy. Now you can see here that I was at 103, and this was about 7 weeks into my weight loss. I wasn't actually tracking it when I started. It was probably much higher, around 110. Now down to 81. And meanwhile, resting heart rate, you can see it up here, 78, now down to 66. So things certainly moving in the right direction. I'm very excited because on Wednesday is my annual physical, so we'll get to see the full blood workup. I will, of course, do a special edition on vegan lab tests, my own, to show you how all the lab tests come in. Now, I'm very excited, especially about cholesterol, because my last cholesterol, if you remember, my doctor was amazed when my cholesterol fell from over 300 to 93 in just 6 weeks on a junk food vegan diet. Well, she took me off the statins because of that. So now, eating clean, Blue Zone, whole food vegan for months. Let's take a look at what my cholesterol is. Remember, 150 or less than 150 total cholesterol, less than 70 LDL bad cholesterol. There's been only one reported case in anywhere in the world of anyone having a heart attack, and that one was so mild, the guy didn't even recognize he had it. They found it later on autopsy in scar tissue. So what about the plan to try to hit this 150 pounds? So here I am, 211.8 pounds, 37, 6'3", assuming you start out completely sedentary. So this week I averaged 168 minutes per day of exercise. So that was around 3.5 hours of walking and about 30 minutes on average of weight training. Those are just 3 days per week. So I've got 140 days left until my 1-year anniversary weigh-in. So the average per my medical team's plan to ramp up the mileage each week, the intensity is going to be 259 minutes on average between now and July 20th. So NIH body weight planner saying I could eat 2,859 calories per day, 20,000 calories a week. So I'm at 18,500 right now. And per my medical team's recommendations, this coming week in March, 19,000 calories per week, April 19.5, May 20, June 25, and 21,000 in July. Of course, the idea is we want to come in for a soft landing because you don't want to just hit your goal weight and then suddenly have to eat a whole lot more. The idea is you kind of gradually come into it like this with a glide path. So we are currently on track, but of course, this is an arbitrary goal, just something to help keep us on track. You can notice here, but the body fat is expected to be 13.4. I'm actually running, because of the weight training, about 3% under, and quite possibly 4%. My trainer says that with that weighted vest turning everything into a resistance workout, I might be able to get this down to not just 10%, but maybe even 9 or 8%. Now, remember what the goal is. Naomi Delgado, famous vegan body trainer or bodybuilder, 10% body fat. He's roughly my size, my height, at about 6'2", 200 pounds here. But the goal, and this is what my team is working towards. Remember, this is where I started at. This is where I am now. 15%. That's slightly better than I've ever been in my life, even in my Army days. This is Naomi Delgado. And 8% is actually the lowest recommended amount from the American College of Sports Medicine and the Mayo Clinic. But various studies indicate that the optimal level for male mortality, minimizing it, may in fact be 8% body fat. So that is what we are shooting for, and that is what all this is really about. So thank you so much for joining me for this weekly weigh-in, and here is the weekly body shot. Every week, I recreate this exact pose so you can watch me transform into the Captain America version of myself. So that you can see truly the power of science-based magic and nutrition-fueled sorcery of a Blue Zone vegan lifestyle and following a comprehensive long-term body transformation plan. My team has worked out a 2-year plan that will allow me to become the healthiest, happiest version of myself while accomplishing ultra athletics, such as walking 3,000 miles in a weighted vest, doing the Austin Marathon while wearing a 160-pound weighted vest, and maybe even climbing a 100-story skyscraper in that 160-pound vest. All things that I could never have dreamed of doing when I was 320 pounds, sedentary, and a junk food addict, and certainly not anything that someone on a standard American diet could do. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to this channel, like this video to help other people find it on YouTube, and consider trying a Blue Zone vegan lifestyle. It's helped me to lose over 100 pounds in 7 months. And as my doctor says, this science-based magic and nutrition-fueled sorcery can help anybody become the Captain America version of yourself if you just give it a chance and are powered by plants.
At 29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward.